a really well-fought win here at Stamford Bridge. How did it feel?
Yeah, I think it was a tough game. We defended well. They were, as always, dangerous when they get counterattacks, but I think we defended well. And yeah, unfortunately we conceded 2, but I think offensively we scored 3. So yeah, we're happy with that.
How much fight did you guys have to show defensively, especially in that second half when Chelsea was just pressing you guys until the end?
Yeah, I think we kind of done it to ourselves. We didn't play very well in the second half and let them give us more pressure, really. And then, yeah, that's how we probably conceded the goals and not up to our standards, really. So it's a bit disappointing in the second half, but yeah, win.
Well, going to the positives, both of your goals, starting with you, Ben. Could you talk a little bit about that corner and how you got into that position? Because you found a space and had a quite comfortable header.
Yeah, we knew there was going to be a free man, so it was just finding that and worked out early, and I was free and managed to get into a good space. And
then the cross. Sanchez had a little bit of, so it's not technically
yeah. Is it not?
Yeah, because he had the hand. But yeah, but you guys have a really good connection since you guys played together at Brighton, right?
Yeah, under 21s, isn't
it? Does it help when you're looking for him in the box?
Yeah, of course. I knew he was going to be waiting for the ball across. Yeah, I didn't really look, to be fair. I just tried to fire across.
Did you see Ben's intention before he hit the cross? How? Because you guys really understand each other on the pitch.
Yeah, I think it's not his first assist to me, so yeah, I knew he was gonna try to find me, and yeah, he did. So it was nice.
Does that goal, Victor, shows a lot of your strengths in just being in the right position at the right time and just poaching the ball?
Yeah, that's what I need to do, and I can do it more often. So yeah, we won today and we keep going.
Well, how big does it feel, this win? Because they scored twice, but you guys showed a lot of fight. There's still the second leg.
Yeah, I mean, this is still the second leg, but of course it's good to come away with a win and advantage for the second leg. But yeah, we still have to do a good performance in the second match.
Well done for you both. Victor, your player of the match. Ben, do the honours, please.
My guy.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sort of sense there's a little bit of disappointment there that they've let Chelsea back into this, don't you?
Yeah, I felt so. It was a game that they could have been really comfortable in. They made a lot of changes towards the end of the game, Arsenal. I just felt that goal that Chelsea got right at the end it's put a nice complexion on from the manager's point of view, from Liam Rosenior, but from Arsenal's, they'll be kicking themselves a little bit. I think they'll put on a brave face. Yeah, it's still a good result. And by the way, they took it before the start of the game. But this game could have been dead and buried. It had that feel to it. But fair play to Chelsea, they hung in there.
I would have loved to see him a little bit happier, though. Yeah, they could have done so much better, I think. And that's what they expect. But on the other hand, you're at Chelsea. Eh? You are at Stamford Bridge. It's not an easy place to come. You have won. You have scored, but you haven't done enough. Yeah, you want to do it more. Enjoy these moments.
And an assist as well.
Yeah.
That's probably his best moment in an Arsenal shirt as well tonight. In the big game, that's what they bought him for, Jim.
Exactly.
As a number 9, you understand that pressure as
London Derby. Yeah, enjoy these moments.
Because that's what you're in it for, aren't you, as well?
Enjoy these moments. It wasn't perfect, but you have to give Chelsea credit as well. They're going to keep on fighting, and they kept on fighting. Clear-cut chances Arsenal didn't really create. The really great goal was credit. The real was Sumimendi, yeah. But you got a goal. You got to go at a position where you need to be. You were there, where a striker is supposed to be and score. You know, so you have done your job. Have a smile, keep on going.
Before we get on to his goal and his assist, we'll look again at the first goal. Now, Ben White said to Natalie there, they worked out early on that they would end up with a spare man and it would be him.
Yeah, I think they probably underestimated how bad Sanchez would do for the goal as well, because he just completely flaps at it. He's not strong enough. And I don't really like what João Pedro does as well. Number 20 there, you can see him there. He's pretending he slipped. You've got 3 players on the goal line for Chelsea. They're the ones going to attack the ball. Not one of them really ends up getting anywhere near it.
So there's 4 on 3 there.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you've got João Pedro comes in to make the 4v4. just gets under the ball. He's got his hands on his hips there, number 20. Why is he not in a ready position thinking, OK, this ball comes in, I'm going to come and attack it for my team? Look, he's not really looking at it, he's not looking at the ball. It's really poor, isn't it, Jimmy?
Yeah, look, you're there to do a job. You're there to stop your opposition having a free header. Be committed, go and attack the ball, and it's nothing difficult there. A little bit of commitment, and you can win that ball. And I think João Pedro will be very disappointed with that.
Can I ask you what may be a very stupid question then?
It's never stupid.
Well, it may be, but with your coaching hat on, you said you are there to stop your opponent heading the ball.
Yeah.
Why are you not there to head the ball yourself?
Well, maybe the defensive set-piece coach wanted the starting position for those three to be there. But then still, my mentality is, if I am not heading that ball away, you are definitely not heading that ball away.
But are we in an era of it's all about the block rather than somebody jumping 8 foot in the air and heading it?
Yeah,
that's what it feels like to a lot of fans. It's all about blocking rather than heading it.
Yeah, but at that position, he is not blocking. Nobody is blocking him. So he can go and meet Ben White and stay with him and have contact and head the ball away. He loses him. I don't know what has happened, if he loses the ball with the lights or whatever, but he loses it. And in that split second, he loses that concentration where White can head the ball in.
But there's an argument to say when teams go zonal, what it does, it takes away accountability. Because if you say to someone, right, I'm marking Jimmy Floyd-Hasselbank before a game, many years ago, you'd always have, that's your man, and I'm gonna stop him scoring. Nowadays, that's gone. I mean, but when you talk about blocking and things like, when I watch Gabriel, it doesn't matter. He's not blocking people. He's heading the ball.
Yes.
For his own corners and also when he's attacking corners. And I think that's where Chelsea were almost like rabbit in headlights.
It's a mentality
before that corner come in, I looked at them and I thought, they're not ready for this. And it's almost like Arsenal now, and don't get me wrong, they're incredible at set pieces. They are the best, and there's a fear factor now that's spreading throughout the Premier League and world football because of how good they are. But they didn't even have to do anything special to unlock Chelsea there. They changed it a little bit second half. They took those 3 men off the line and it got us slightly better. And obviously the keeper come and took one, which gives you a little bit of hope as well. But that setup was completely wrong to start because it doesn't matter what setup you've got. If you haven't got people attacking the ball, you have absolutely no chance. And no one attacked the ball with any ferocity whatsoever there.
Arsenal's 24th goal from a set piece this season is the difference between the two teams. 7 more than any other teams in Europe's top 5 leagues. And they didn't really have to work very hard for it, did they?
Yeah, there's been some good ones. The set-piece coach certainly earns his money, but this case, so easy. You can see there how they set up. They've got Chalobah, João Pedro as well, the 3 players at the back, and Fofana. They're almost on the goal line for Chelsea's perspective. And obviously the keeper's in a decent position. The players that we typically do with Arsenal, they've come to that back position. Corner comes in, it's a great delivery. But the goalie flaps it. It is so poor. He's weak. He has to be stronger. Obviously, and you look at that. Another player I want to look at is João Pedro. Look at him there. He's got his hands on his hips. He's not in a ready position. He comes out. He sort of slips. Now he's looking at his feet. Watch him there. Number 20. Be ready. Ben White's at the back post. He has a little look at him. The 3 of them there. I don't like that position. Then he decides, OK, there's a corner against. I better engage. Comes out. Gets the wrong side of Ben White. Too easy, isn't it, Jimmy?
Yeah, for me, what is important, you need to clear that area in front of the goalkeeper. You need to keep that free. So that he can go backwards and forwards. And you need to do that at the last moment. It's too crowded over there for him, for me, for my liking. The keeper should still do better, and João Pedro should still be closer to White. But initially, you need to make that area free for the goalkeeper.
Chalobah, Pedro and Fofana are probably the best free headers of all, end up nowhere near it. So that setup just hasn't worked.
Now, there is a similarity with this goal to last night's goal, and it was briefly looked at by VAR, and their decision, because it is subjective, is that Gyökeres is not impacting the ability of an opponent to play the ball, Jimmy.
For me, it's offside, like yesterday.
I wonder why you say that.
No, I understand. Look, yesterday I thought it wasn't offside, and today the same. For me, it's not offside. It's well worked from Arsenal, well done. We all spoke about it before the game that they are strong in them set pieces.
And he's not looking at the ball there, is he, Jimmy?
And he's not looking at the ball, no. If he looked at the ball, he clears it.
might have been able to clear it.
And they were able to do that very quickly. Jared Gillett on VAR, right, I'm deciding he isn't impacting anybody's ability to play the ball, goal, move on.
Thank goodness. Otherwise, they'd have to give all the supporters in there a duvet while they wait for it to decide. No, you can't. At least
I think they would take a duvet, though, for that decision.
That is the only...
Jesus is back and available and fit, and with Kai Havertz also returning, Mikel Arteta has 4 potential strikers to choose from. But which one is the best option? All of them offer different things. We compared them here when they have started up front in the Premier League, and yes, we have included Mikel Merino. Now, as before, if you've got green in your column, that's good. You rank top out of the 4. If there's red in your column, that's not so good. You're going to rank bottom out of the 4 of these players who've played up front. Now, Mikel Merino on the end there, he edges it in terms of goals per 90, but actually it's fairly negligible between him, Jesus, and Kai Havertz as well. Jesus is the one that actually has lots of shots per game, but he's actually got a fairly low conversion rate there at just 13.6%. He does like to get involved in the game, though. Lots of touches, 50.8 per game, significantly higher than the other 3. But it's fair to say, if we take a look at Viktor Gyökeres's column, there is red there, and actually he ranks bottom out of the 4 in 3 out of our 5 metrics. He is lowest for touches and also aerials won. And if we continue on the Gyökeres theme, he has 5 Premier League goals. But if we look at the fewest goals by a title-winning team's top scorer, we see that Gyökeres has a fair way to go between now and the end of the season. Frank Lampard and Ilkay Gundogan with 13 goals are the lowest. Eric Cantona, Mark Hughes, Teddy Sheringham, Kevin De Bruyne all make the list. So I guess the question is, if Arsenal are going to win the title, does Gyökeres, at least he needs to get double figures, but is he going to get there, Mark?
He could. He's got the ability to. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. I think he's a top quality player, but he needs time to adjust. It's not the straightforward Arsenal, the way in which they play. I think players coming back is going to help him to lift the burden. The competitions they're playing in, they'd certainly, if not one individual is going to reach those goals, it's about spreading the goals. And I think that's what Arsenal have done very well this season, spreading them around the team, which they've had to.
Yeah, and if you look, actually, Manchester City, there's a couple of people on the list from City, the years when Aguero was injured for a season where they really spread the goals out. It might feel unusual to people at home for us to be saying, well, it's fine for Gyökeres not to score because they can share the goals around when they've spent all that money on a striker.
It is, and I think that's where the pressure mounts, isn't it? Because you've spent so much money on a player, you've been desperately trying to get a striker for such a long period of time. That's the one sort of piece of the jigsaw that you feel like you're missing, and it kind of hasn't really worked as yet, but there's still time to go. Will he finish in double figures? I think he will. I really do. I think he's good enough to finish in double figures. I think the question mark will be how much game time will he get. I mean, now that Kai Havertz is back, I think he's a massive player to have back in the ranks. You heard that Mikel Arteta spoke very, very highly of him after the game on the weekend, how excited he was to see him back on the training field, back involved on matchday squads.
You said they'd obviously hoped Arsenal that he'd be the final piece of the missing piece of the jigsaw. He's actually failed to score, Gyökeres, in 23 of his 28 games. 7 goals so far in all competitions. He was prolific in Portugal. In his all-round play, though, is he contributing enough, goals aside, to this team?
Probably not, no. I mean, I think his involvement in the game itself, we saw there with his touches on that board there, the touches are just not enough. His involvement in the game isn't enough. And I suppose you could look at when he played at Sporting Lisbon, what sort of player was he? He was a player that often balls played over the top. Almost like a little bit almost counter football, a quick transition of football, which Arsenal can do at times, but they are also about linking up play quite considerably, and I think that's something that he's really struggled with. When you look at Gabriel Jesus' stats, his involvement with build-up play, link-up play, I think has been also vital, and he's been a big miss since coming back, that period of time when he's been out injured.
Yeah, having him and Havertz, as you say, both back now.
Yeah.
On the Jesus line of things, how big a claim does he have now to be starting ahead of Gyökeres? How much pressure is he putting on him?
Well, I mean, I think, look, having him back, getting back to fitness, he's only been back since middle of December, so that's going to take a bit of time as well. I thought, his involvement on the weekend was positive. Kai Havertz's involvement, straight away, you looked at Kai Havertz coming on against Portsmouth on the weekend. I know it was Portsmouth, but still, it's a big game. It's an FA Cup game away from home. Being out for such a long, nearly a year out through injury, he looked very sharp. So can that progression continue? Can he get match fit? Can he stay fit? And I think there's going to be a real juggling act with all being involved still in every competition for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's going to need these players. He's going to need all of them.
Do you think he'll hang his hat on one in particular? In terms of winning the title, which is the one that Arsenal are desperate to achieve?
I think sometimes you've got to stick with someone, go with them, and you've got to try and force them into some sort of form. Give them a bit of game time to allow them to find some consistency. And that's what I think he'll do. I think with someone like Kai Havertz in particular, I think he will give him the amount of game time he needs to try in a run of games to try and hit some form and a run of goals.
OK, Mark, thank you very much.